Well, let's go now to Quinlan, Texas. We'll talk with Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Andrew. I'm a brand new listener,
Great.
and I've been loving what you've been saying, so I figured you could solve this one for me. I have a verse, and I'm driving, so I can't pull it up out of my Bible,
Yeah.
but I know you'll know which one it is. It's about the putting wine in the new wineskin.
Yeah.
Don't put an old cloth. Okay. I can't grasp the meaning of that. I'm thinking it means something to your new you
Yeah.
when you become to Christ.
Amen.
Okay?
Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about that. Well, in my view, there's two great interpretations, and they're certainly both compatible with each other. So Jesus says you can't pour new wine into old wineskins. If you do, the skins will burst. The wine is going to run out all over the place, and the wineskins are going to be ruined. He also talks about sewing a patch of fabric. A new patch that's going to shrink. You sew that on to an old pair of jeans, and next thing you know, when you put it in the washer and dryer, you end up with some more tears. So, yeah, there's compatibility there. And I think when you take them together, what's he talking about? Between the wineskins and the wine, and then the patch and the clothing? Well, he's talking about compatibility of old and new. Now, what does that remind you of? The old covenant and the new covenant. And he's saying you can't mix the old with the new. You can't put the old and the new together and say, oh, what a beautiful mixture, because you're going to ruin the whole thing. So, if you take both of those analogies together, then it's clear to me that it's about old versus new, which means it's most likely about old covenant and new covenant. Now, if you just look at the wine and the wineskins, then a beautiful second interpretation is that Christ himself, the Spirit of God in us, is the wine. And then we are the wineskins because we contain Christ. Christ lives in us. So you cannot be a possessor of Christ unless you yourself are a new creation. So Jesus does not inhabit the old self. He gives you a new self so that you are in perfect union and agreement with him. So your old self dies, Romans 6. Your old self is crucified with Christ, Galatians 2:20. And then you are raised to newness of life, and you are filled with his Spirit, and you are sealed. So it kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. I went to a church in Warrenton, Virginia, and about 150, 200 yards down the hill, there was an IGA store. I don't know if you remember those, but the IGA stores, they were like 7-Eleven before 7-Eleven. And so I'd go down there, our whole group of us would. We'd go down there, and we'd get a bottle of Pepsi or a bottle of Coke or whatever, and we'd do that during the break at church between the Sunday school hour and the service. And so then we would go back either after church or most likely after church, but sometimes the week that followed, we'd say, here's that bottle. And then sure enough, they would give you money for the bottle. They would take the bottle back. And you know what they would do after they bought it back, after they redeemed it, then they would, in fact, sterilize it, fill it, and seal it. And that's what happens to us at salvation. We're bought back, we're filled, we're sealed. Now, that analogy breaks down for Jesus. Jesus would say, wait a minute, it's got to be a new bottle. It can't be the same bottle. So that's what he's saying with wine and wineskins. You got to be a new creation. You got to be a new self. You can't just be filled with Jesus. You got to be a new bottle, a new wineskin. So both of those interpretations are beautiful and awesome. If I had to pick one, I guess I would say most likely he's referring to the old covenant and the new covenant, law and grace, not being able to mix because of the patch analogy that is right there too. But either way, you got a beautiful truth. I mean, God is not resurrecting the old, and he's not mismatching old and new in any regard. You're a new creature with the life of Christ inside of you. So, Donna, I'll put you back on and see. Does that help? Does that make sense?
That's perfect. You're awesome. I appreciate you very much, sir.
All right. Well, fantastic question. I love that kind of question because, number one, it's gospel focused. Number two, it's about Jesus. Number three, it's about what's happening in the Bible. So we love those kind of questions around here. Call us back anytime, Donna. Great to hear from you.